One of my aunts, upon her deathbed, bequeathed to me a fat Angora cat. I have never encountered a creature more foolish in all the world. And so it was, one winter evening, as he warmed himself by the fireplace, that this cat shared his story with me. It happened long ago. I was then a 2-year-old kitten, just as plump as I was naive. At such a tender age, I had yet to appreciate the comforts of domestic life and was filled with pride, as any young creature might be. And yet, I ought to have thanked fate every moment for placing me in your aunt's care. She was a remarkable woman, who loved me dearly. Deep within one of her cupboards, she had arranged a sort of soft nest for me, where I could warm myself beneath 3 cozy blankets. She fed me splendidly. I dined exclusively on half-raw prime beef and would never, under any circumstance, touch soup, let alone dry bread. And still, amidst all this abundance, I dreamed only of slipping out through the half-open window and escaping to the rooftop. Your aunt's caresses seemed cloying to me. The mere thought of my soft bed made me nauseous, and my own corpulence oppressed me. In short, I spent my days lamenting the fact that I was too happy. You must understand, if I stretched my neck just slightly out of the cupboard, I could see, through the window, the roof of the neighboring house. One bright sunny day, I spotted 4 cats there, purring merrily and playing together. Their game resembled a brawl, fur bristling, tails raised in delight, and leaps full of combative joy. The impression this scene made on me was so powerful that, from that moment on, my worldview took on a definite shape. Happiness, I concluded, lay out there on the rooftop, beyond that carefully locked window. And another compelling argument supported this belief. Weren't the cupboard doors, behind which the beef was kept, also locked? I resolved to escape at any cost. Surely, life must hold something more than juicy beef. Something unknown. An ideal. And so, one day, when someone forgot to shut the kitchen window properly, I seized the moment and leapt out onto the roof. Oh, how marvelous those rooftops seemed to me, as I stepped onto them for the first time. The wide gutters through which I crept were filled with mysterious fragrances. My heart fluttered with sensual delight as I slowly placed my paws into the liquid muck that filled them. It felt so soft, it was as if I were walking on velvet. And the sun warmed me with such intensity that I fancied my fat was melting under its tender rays. I won't deny it, I trembled in every limb. Joy was mingled with fear. I shall never forget the dreadful sensation that nearly caused me to tumble onto the pavement. 3 cats, descending swiftly from the rooftop's peak, approached me with menacing meows. But when they saw I was about to faint from fright, they cheerfully called me a fool and confessed they had only meant to scare me for fun. Their prank delighted me immensely. These lively cats were not as fat as I, and seeing me inching along the gutter, they must have thought I looked like a ball and decided to spook me for sport. The eldest of them, it seemed, took a liking to me, and immediately offered to take me under his wing. He proposed to prepare me for street life, and I, of course, gratefully agreed to follow his guidance. I forgot all about your aunt. I had no time for her. Everything around me enchanted me. I lapped dirty water from the drain pipes, and it tasted better than fresh milk. A cat passed by, but what a cat she was! Her mere appearance filled me with indescribable rapture and a sensation I had never known before. Such cats I had only imagined in dreams, elegant, graceful, with a supple, whimsically curving back and gleaming fur. All 4 of us rushed toward her, and I had already outpaced my companions, eager to be the first to offer her a compliment, when suddenly one of them, evidently guessing my intent, bit me sharply on the neck. I yelped in pain. Not a fan, eh? My protector said, half joking, half serious, as he pulled me aside. Hold on, brother, don't rush into things. Or you might find yourself in for worse treats than that. After an hour-long stroll, I began to feel the pangs of a ravenous appetite. "What do you eat up here on the rooftops, uncle?" I asked my protector timidly. "We devour whatever we can find, whatever turns up," he replied with the stoic calm of a philosopher. His answer, I must admit, didn't sit well with me. No matter how much I looked around, I couldn't spot even the faintest sign of food. At last, through the window of an attic, I noticed a young maid preparing to have breakfast. She had just placed a plate on the table beneath the open window, and on it lay a juicy, golden-browned, fragrant cutlet. "That's obviously meant for me," I thought naively, and without a word, I darted onto the table. But the moment I touched the cutlet, the girl spotted me and, with unexpected fury, struck me across the back with a poker. The sky seemed to shrink to the size of a sheepskin, sparks flew from my eyes, and abandoning the cutlet, I bolted back to the rooftop. "Got smacked again, did you?" chuckled my protector. "You really are a fool. Where were you raised, that you still don't know? Anything humans place on a table isn't meant for our kind. Our kind rummages through garbage heaps, that's where you should be looking." I couldn't make sense of his words. Even now, I still don't fully understand why kitchen beef isn't considered suitable food for cats. Meanwhile, hunger was gnawing at me with increasing cruelty. And how deep was my despair when my protector informed me that during the day, one shouldn't even think of eating, would have to wait for nightfall. Only then could we descend from the rooftops and begin our gastronomic expedition through the refuse pits. He spoke of this with such serene philosophical conviction that it plunged me into even deeper gloom. I was starving to the point of madness, and the thought of having to wait so long filled me with dread. And night, as if on purpose, crept in with agonizing slowness. What a night it was! Foggy, damp, and chilling to the bone. Then came the rain, fine and relentless. A gusty, icy wind rose. We barely managed to descend via a covered staircase, squeezing through a hole in the ceiling that led down from the roof. Oh, how dismal the street looked that night. No sun, no warmth, nothing of the pleasure and comfort the rooftop had offered that morning. My paws slipped in the sticky mud and sank with nearly every step. Suddenly, I was seized by a memory of the warm corner in your aunt's cupboard, and that memory only deepened my suffering. As soon as we reached the street, my protector began to tremble all over. He hunched and shrank into himself, glancing around with a mysterious air, and crept along the walls of the houses, instructing me not to fall behind under any circumstances. Spotting a large gate, he darted beneath it, and I instinctively followed. Only when he saw I was beside him did he seem to relax and let out a satisfied purr. "What happened to you, uncle?" "A close call, brother. Lucky it passed." "But what exactly? Don't keep me in suspense." "Well, did you notice that ragged man with the sack and the hook, walking near us on the street?" "Yes, but what of it?" "Well, brother, had he spotted us, you and me would be dangling on a string like bait. Speak plainly, I don't understand riddles. Here's the plain truth, he'd have scooped us into his sack. And once home, he'd have pulled us out, fried us and eaten us." "Eaten us?" I cried out in horror. "But don't we have the right to walk the streets? Where's the justice in that? We're not allowed to eat, and yet others are allowed to eat us." Be that as it may, we wasted no time and set off toward the nearest garbage pits. Alas! A curse upon it, they had just been cleaned. After all the effort I poured into the search, my spoils amounted to nothing more than a couple of pitiful bones, smeared with filth. I pounced on them with savage hunger, and I assure you, sir, It was only in those moments that I truly discovered the taste of prime meat. My protector displayed astonishing energy in his foraging. You should have seen the skill with which he scraped the depths of those refuse heaps. And he did it all with unhurried dignity, so that our gastronomic expedition stretched on until morning. Thus, I spent 10 consecutive hours soaked under that accursed rain. It was beyond endurance. I shivered like one stricken with fever. Cursed street. Cursed freedom. Oh, how bitterly I recalled my prison, your aunt's apartment. By morning, noticing my pitiful state, my protector addressed me in a tone that, I won't deny, carried a hint of contempt. Well, brother, you look thoroughly wilted. I must admit, I murmured faintly. There you go, young master. I bet you're longing for home now. I must confess, terribly, but I wouldn't know the way. I'll find it. I knew this would happen, brother, and I made sure to mark your house when you first slipped out. That's the thing, fat cats like you aren't built for the harsh joys of freedom. Let's go. We reached your aunt's house. My protector pointed it out and, with a dry farewell, prepared to leave. Oh no, I cried. Don't leave me like this. Let me repay you, at least in some small way, for all you've done. Would you consider staying with me? It would be a great honor if you accepted my invitation. There's room enough for both of us. I'll gladly share my meat. The lady of the house isn't half bad. He didn't let me finish. Nonsense, brother. I'd suffocate on your featherbeds. That life's not for me. A proper cat values freedom above all and won't walk into a cage, no matter how sweet the bait. He swiftly climbed back onto the roof, and I watched as he stretched with pleasure beneath the first rays of the rising sun. I tucked my tail and slipped through the window, settling into my usual spot. Your aunt, sir, clearly rejoiced at my return, though she made no show of it. For the sake of decorum and discipline, she took up the whip and gave me a polite little lashing. The punishment, I must admit, brought me no pain, only pleasure. I meowed plaintively for appearance's sake, but deep down I basked in the warmth. The light sting only heightened the sensation. As she whipped me, I surrendered to carnivorous dreams of the juicy cut of meat I was certain would follow. And so, sir, concluded the cat, lazily stretching by the fire, true happiness and, if you will, a kind of earthly paradise lies, in my view, in the daily possession of a fine piece of meat, even if that possession comes with captivity and the occasional paternal correction. Of course, we're not speaking of humans. But for us cats, that's precisely how the world works.